In this video, I'm going to be installing a 9-inch touchscreen Android stereo from AliExpress. It's got wireless and wired Apple CarPlay. It's also got the wireless and wired Android Auto. And I'll show you guys the single DIN adapter that I used for this touchscreen stereo so that it could fit inside this 2005 Nissan Xtrail. To start off, I used the 9-inch Android touchscreen stereo from AliExpress. The model of this specific stereo that I got was the X304, and that also meant that this stereo had a 4 gigabytes of RAM. So I would suggest if you're going to buy any other Android stereo, at minimum, make sure that it has 4 gigabytes of RAM. Otherwise you're going to fall into like lag and it's going to be slow and it's going to give you lots of headaches. So this stereo cost around about the $104 or so. I think I got this one at about $98 special. AliExpress does tend to have some good return policy, so I'm pretty happy with buying stereos from AliExpress in the past. I've installed into a lot of customer cars, so that's what we'll be using today. And it was more of a test utilizing this stereo to see what it was like installing into a double DIN application. So just to start with, we're going to unbox the stereo and the adapters included, take you through everything that was included and what I did to install into the car. So there was some universal, you would say, brackets to hold these stereos into place into some certain applications. In this case, we're just going to have a bit of a closer look at the stereo screen and unit itself. This was the 9-inch model. On the back, we had a physical fan. We can see the areas that we have adapters that can get plugged into for things like the reverse camera, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi reception, and audio in and output. I'll now show you what was included in terms of the adapters for this stereo. So we had a range of things, some of them optional. Not everything was used in my installation today, but I'll take you through what I did install and did use, and hopefully this will be of help for you. So there were 2 USB cables included, about 1 meter or so of cable length. We have the reverse camera adapter, which also does the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth signals, a GPS antenna, only handy if you're going to use the onboard navigator app. And then we have the main power harness, which unfortunately didn't have any of the ISO universal adapters. This power harness ready to solder in. And then we had the last adapter, which had the optional inputs, outputs for the audio, and the fan power. Now, to avoid soldering or cutting into the car's original speaker and stereo wiring, I decided to use these universal ISO adapters. So that will save needing to cut and do anything to the original car's wiring. Now, they're very easy to install in this case. You just match the colors of the ISO adapters, they're loose cables to begin, and you match those colors to the wiring colors of the harness for the stereo. So you can see the red matches to red, purple matches to purple, and so on. That then turns this from a soldering job into a plug and play job. Now, jumping into the car, this is the stereo we're going to be removing, and in its place putting our new touchscreen stereo. So here's a bit of a look at the single DIN adapter, which then a 9-inch screen adapter screws into that single DIN body. So I'll take you guys through this in a little more detail soon, but on AliExpress I found a listing here that had this adapter in the 9-inch and the 10-inch size. Make sure to match up your adapter, your screen adapter size here to the screen size of your stereo unit that you've purchased or you're planning to purchase. So pretty good pricing, good returns policies as always, and there's these little side holes that line up to these little holes here on the sides of the single DIN pocket. So you're able to adjust the height of the stereo screen itself, depending on where you want the single DIN body to sit. If you want the single DIN body to sit further up or further down, you're able to adjust with the screw holes. So that's really, really good. This is what the touchscreen will do. It sits inside that frame body and then gets screwed in from the back. There's 4 screws that hold that screen into that frame. A little cleaner. Here's our wiring, ready to go, ready to plug in. Just bundled up. Clean up that wiring. Some of the optional adapters, and we'll show you guys what I did to install the lot. Initially, we'll go through how to remove the fascia for this vehicle. So every vehicle is a little bit different. For this vehicle, the 2005 Nissan Xtrail, the fascia is just clipped in using these plastic clips. You're able to just pull around the fascia trim to disengage these clips from the dash, and then the fascia itself is only held in by a few wiring plugs. So these are wiring harnesses for a few different buttons and a few different functions. So we'll remove these off camera and I'll just show you guys a little closer. If you're unfamiliar, there are these plastic tabs that are spring loaded. We've got to press the tab in and then the whole wire plug pulls out. So here's another one, a different style. Just push in the top little tab and pull out. So this car had 3 wiring harnesses to unplug, and then that meant the fascia is free. Now the original stereo is held in with 4 bolts. Once you've removed your bolts, then the whole stereo comes out in one piece, and then it's just plugged in with some of the wiring harnesses. So there are 2 harnesses, the speaker power here that will unplug from the back of the original stereo. So again, you'll just push those tabs in, pull out, and then you've got the antenna wire to remove as well, and then the original stereo comes out. Now in this case, I've removed that aftermarket stereo. We can see this is the antenna plug that just pulls straight out. This one here is the vehicle specific adapter. We'll see the white original Nissan Xtrail plugs are already plugged into this Xtrail adapter, which then comes out to these male ISO adapters. So now this car is ready to have our female adapters that we'd wired on previously clicked straight in. It's red to red, black to black, and then we're able to just plug straight into the back of the new stereo screen. So how awesome is that? So nice and easy, avoids soldering into your car. I've just got some other connections I've made, like reverse camera, that reverse trigger that gets wired into the pink cable here called back. So that's the reverse signal for the stereo to turn on to the reverse video when you're in reverse. So I found that this single DIN body, this little plastic adapter, didn't actually fit. It was too wide, and also I had to shave off the front face for the stereo screen to actually mount to the holes. So there was a little modification needed. I had to use a Dremel, cut some of the forward, you would say, width, and also I had to trim into the car's original fascia. So if your car is a little more precious to you, you may need to look for a better fitting single DIN adapter. But in this case, for this vehicle, this owner was happy for us to trim into that original fascia so that the single DIN body could fit. And then with all of our other adapters plugged in, such as the RCAs for subwoofer, reverse camera, those ISO adapters for power and speakers, reverse camera and antenna cable, make sure to plug all those in tight. And we will now have a fully working new stereo. So lucky last, before we forget, don't forget to run your USB cable to a location of your preference, maybe into the glove box or under the dash. In this case, we went for under the dash and pushing out into easy access. And that's about it. So pretty much plug and play, nice and easy. If you've dealt with installing stereos before, just needing to adjust the fascia to suit the single DIN body, and then Bob's your uncle. So from here, guys, we'll see the couple screws I've used to hold the body of the frame that holds the actual touchscreen unit to that single DIN body. So you can see I've put in 2 Phillips head screws, and then we're able to adjust the height of that frame depending on which screws we put into. So just needing to, again, consider you'll need to trim into your original fascia so that this particular single DIN adapter can fit in nicely. I found there was a bit of a gap between the end of the frame and the beginning of that single DIN pocket, so you'll see there is a little bit of a gap, but it is covered from the driving position. You don't see that gap, but just so you guys know, the gap is there. This one is the other side. We've got 2 screws, again holding this side on, and this will be the method that you guys will need to do to take the screen on and off. Those screws need to come out for the screen to come off. But here we have it. To show you guys, the screen does block a little bit of the opposing air vent, but not the end of the world. Again, if you've got some good air conditioning heating from the vents closest to the driver, I think this wouldn't be of major issue. So that's it. I want to take you guys through a bit of testings and review some of the features so you have more familiarity with what this touchscreen system has. So for instance, this X304 model has a bunch of different themes and the way the menu looks, so you can adjust through to your preference to make the main menu look exactly how you'd prefer. I decided to use this one that would make everything quick and easy to reach. Now, to very quickly show you guys, from turning the key, the stereo screen is so quick to power up. I found, to show you guys, within 5 to 10 seconds, once we click on the Z-Link app, we'll see that already the stereo has connected to the Bluetooth of the phone, and we've got the connected symbol on the phone's Bluetooth, so we now see we've entered Apple CarPlay for this phone. I will go a little more in depth for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto so that you can see this unit in action for both versions, whether you've got an iPhone or a Android based phone. But I found for both operating systems, this stereo unit was able to handle both really well, and a really great addition for any car that has a double DIN or single DIN sizing. So there might be a little bit of custom adjustment needed, but I find it was a really great upgrade for this slightly older, dated stereo system vehicle. Here's what the FM stereo looks like. The FM stereo app, we'll see there's some very quick selections, and for most of us, we probably won't use the FM radio. We've got the internet radio and things like Spotify music that's already got FM music on there as well. So here's a bit of the Apple CarPlay main screen, just to show off the LCD, and it's very visible, even though the phone recording this video wasn't fully doing it justice. But we have some quick shortcuts like a Android phone. We've got a drop down menu. We've got very quick disabling of the screen if it's a bit too bright at night or you're not needing the screen, so nice to disable that screen. We've got the volume up and down touch sensitive, but once you get started with you tap the volume up or down, that slider, you're able to actually slide the volume up and down, which is really handy for quick volume adjustment. Here we have Android Auto. So once paired to an Android phone, the Z-Link application on the unit itself is tapped on. You got a Android Auto to pop up for you. So very usable, very quick. I found in my testings there wasn't any major issues with stuttering or lagging between that main menu screen, and even jumping from full screen to adjusting around the Google Maps. There wasn't, again, very obvious lagging or stuttering, which was great to see. So just to show you guys a little closer with Google Maps, how fluid it is, and how quick some of the searching is as well. For instance, something from a recent search we find gives a preview, clicking start, and very quick to be able to adjust, zooming out, having a look around at the route ahead. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have a pinch to zoom available, but we do have the plus and minus icons. So here's a bit of Spotify to look at. Able to jump to playlists and very quickly and easily adjust to some playlists you've either previously organized or discovering some new ones. So again, for anyone that loves Spotify, doesn't have Spotify on their vehicle already, or doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, just for even just music playback, very handy to have on a bigger screen, even able to do things by voice guidance. So there is a microphone inbuilt to the front screen of these stereos, which at all times is able to listen to voice navigation or making audio calls, text messages through voice commands. Here we have the reverse camera viewing. So here's one I'd installed separately, a great viewing angle to the LCD screen, which is excellent to see. Jumping over to Apple CarPlay.
Take me to Sydney,
We've got
Australia.
the navigation going through the onboard microphone. We'll see it has picked up a request to navigate to Sydney. So Apple CarPlay here also coming up very quickly with the navigation and adjustments to the Google Maps view here. Also doesn't have, or seem to have, the pinch to zoom in and zoom out, but again does have the minusing in and minusing out for the view of the navigation ahead. Initially a little bit of lag there, but the unit seems to have caught up and loading smoothly now, which is great. So a little bit more, you would say, manual for looking ahead in the route, but certainly doable. Just make sure to drive safe, everyone. Don't get distracted from adjusting your Google Maps screen manually. Remember, you can, by voice guidance through Siri, adjust your route and, save your hassles for getting phone fines, and distractions on the road can be reduced. So the Apple CarPlay, very smooth and slightly jittery jumping between the screens of that main menu, but certainly very, very usable. I've definitely enjoyed my experience so far. So all in all, I think for the $100 odd that this stereo and the adapters cost, I think a very worthwhile investment for the size of the screen. Very, very usable screen in terms of not only the fluidity and the functions available, but also for the ease of use for while driving, for things like music playback, phone calls, navigation, just to really make life more convenient, but also a lot safer for driving whilst on the road. I would say certainly worth the effort for having to modify your fascia for the stereo to fit. However, for some cars, the fascia might not be easily modified to house this single DIN pocket, so you may need to look at other options for installing a better suited single DIN adapter kit to adjust and suit for your 9-inch or 10-inch Android stereo screen. So I hope all in all this video has shown you this stereo screen in action, given you a little bit of an idea of what this type of technology can do. Just make sure you get at minimum a 4GB RAM model Android stereo. Choose a seller that has a good review, good ratings. eBay is always a great spot. I find there's usually a little bit easier returns policies. For instance, AliExpress had the 90 days return policy. So outside of 90 days, you might get a little bit more challenge returning a faulty product. But otherwise, thank you for watching this video, everyone. I hope this video has helped you. There are bookings available through our mobile business. We're South Australia based. Feel free to support us by following us on our social media. You'll see our handles just below. But other than that, leave your comments. Thanks for watching. See you soon.